Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Evolve Love. I am so glad that you are here. Wednesday is Mercury Day, and it's kind of been a thing that on Wednesdays I pull a card, and I really enjoy this. I feel like this is something that is so special and just adds a different spark to the conversation of a given day. And so I'm going to stick with this. Wednesday is going to be our card day, unless it aligns better on another day of the week in future weeks. But today, Mercury Day, being the time for communication and shared information, to me, I just really wanted to pull a card. And today's card that I pulled was from the deck Energy and Spirit by Sandra Anne Taylor. And I was just really drawn to this book for some reason with air energy. Today, the moon is in Cancer, which is a water sign, but we had started the week with Gemini energy and kind of on this theme of clearing density and how when I felt that, it was an immediate air connection, that I was feeling fog, that I was feeling that heaviness and like a dense fog type of thing. And so this kind of is going to go along with that. And just a reminder, at the end of our Wednesday episodes, we'll have journal prompts or inquiries that we can do to further expand through the words that we write ourselves. And I'll make sure to put those into the show notes as well. But the card that I picked, this was interesting. It was an interesting process because a couple cards came out, but I didn't feel it. And even though they came out, I was like, you know what? No. I felt an instant no. And when that happened, I was like, this is not the one. And then this one came out and I was like, I'm not really sure. But then I noticed the number on it and the number was 22. And today is the 22nd. And there was also an Earth on it. And today is Earth Day. So I thought, okay, I think this might be the one. I don't know if I need like a clearer knowing, but the card that we picked today was Journey Guide. And the words on the card are travel, change in location. And so I wasn't really sure where I was going to go with this, but this is kind of what came up for me. Maybe it is literally take a trip, plan a trip and go somewhere. But also, too, it made me think about what we've been talking about with clearing density and making new pathways and creating more openness and expansion for ourselves. And one way that can really shift my perspective and really shift the way that I'm feeling is removing yourself from a place that you're in and physically moving into another space. That could be as just even walking from one room to the next. It could be going outside. I think for so many of us, our energy shifts and changes when we go outside. Nature is beautiful. The outdoors can provide a different air quality than the quality of air that is within our home space. And with that change up, that might be even the journey that you need. It doesn't mean necessarily go out and plan a vacation though, like, hey, you should do that. But even just changing where you are. I wasn't actually going to talk about this, but like immediately I feel like I should. But something that I noticed, and this is actually a passage on my Evolve Love Instagram, and I think that I may reshare it. Something that my grandmother used to do is she would always eat grapefruit. I just remember it so vividly. It's like grapefruit is just connected to her for sure. So anyway, she would always have a grapefruit at a certain time of the day. Like it was even scheduled, I feel like. And she would eat the grapefruit slices over the sink. And I always thought like, oh, that's smart, because like you wouldn't want to make a mess, even though like you could have a plate with you, right? But over time, as I grew and like now as an adult with children, I realized that she wasn't just eating the grapefruit over the sink because it was messy. She was eating it over the sink because she was looking out the window. And I totally understand now. It wasn't just a moment for her to have her grapefruit. It was a moment for her to change the perspective. She was in the house, but she was looking out the window. Her scenery was different. She was changing where she was looking. And that can be a shift that we all need within our day, is just changing the scenery, changing the view. And so it might not even mean going outside, because maybe the weather doesn't allow for it. However, you could always dress for the weather, but at the same time, there are small things that we can do to shift the scenery, to shift the environment. And when we do that, the density shifts and changes. Sometimes we feel lighter. Sometimes we feel freer. Sometimes we feel clearer when we shift in this. Because think about it, if you are in like a time of really difficult emotion, and you're in that emotion and you sit with that emotion and you hold that emotion, it just keeps building on top of each other. But can we shift the way that we are looking at things? Can we change our environment and give ourselves some space to process? It even reminds me of like this trend that is going around now on social media where like a child is having a temper tantrum or is just completely breaking down. And instead of the parent like saying something that connects with the temper tantrum, they say something completely random. Like, Jessica, I think that's actually the trend, is they say Jessica. I'm not even making this up. Or they'll be like, watermelon. And then the kids are like so startled out of their moment. They're like, wait, what is mom doing right now? Like, she's just like saying random words. And then all of a sudden, the feelings that they're having, though heavy and difficult, begin to ease, and it's like they're shifting on to something else. And how can that help us in our day? So today for journal prompts, I have a couple that are like focused on the actual traveling concept, because I think this might also open up things for us as well. So one journal prompt today is, where are you being called to travel to? Where are you being called to travel? And this could be a place, this could be a new restaurant, this could be a park, a new park, or somewhere that you haven't gone to before. It doesn't have to be an actual vacation destination, but where are you being called to travel? What are you wanting to experience? Even this could be a question that you ask for like yourself in a moment. What do I want to experience right now? It could be an emotion that you want to experience. What are you wanting to experience later tonight? This question could be so open-ended in so many ways. What are you wanting to experience in your lifetime? What are you wanting to experience in this year? Take this prompt and go with it in the way that most feels best to you right now. What are you wanting to experience? And then the last one is a prompt, but also might not necessarily be one you write down, but just maybe one that you think and process through or create a plan for. But how can you make a location change? Taking a drive in a new direction, changing the autopilot way of how you go about your day to bring you into a new pattern. How can you make a location change? Take a drive that is new for you. Step outside of your autopilot way of living to bring you into a new pattern or rhythm. So if you go about your day in the same structure and same way, maybe by changing the routine and changing the pattern, you would then be able to, go on this journey, go on this way in a new location, but you're also able to move and shift your energies. And this might also help us to not feel so stuck and stagnant the way that a dense energy would. I hope that today's episode helps us to shift our perspective and help us to move through our day in a newly beautiful way. And don't forget, I will put the journal prompts in the show notes. I want to thank you all so very much for being here. And if you feel called, I would love if you could place a rating or review on the podcast. That just really helps to get the podcast seen by others who may be really interested in this content. And I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your time here with me. And I look forward to sharing even more with you tomorrow and Friday. And don't forget to follow _evolve love over on Instagram. Have a beautiful rest of your day.